everyone. Welcome to my channel. It's so good to have you here, friends and soul tribe. To those of you who have just stumbled upon this video or you just felt drawn to it and you're new and you've never ever watched any of my videos, I'm High Priestess Elif. It is so good to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you enjoy the energy. We trust your guides and keepers that they've led you here with good reason. So the reading that I'm doing today, I'm doing a pick a pile for my fire signs. And we are looking at what is happening with you and your person during this Libra full moon. And from this point onwards, leading up to this, we're going to look at what the history is, what the conflicts and issues are around this time. Now, they don't just pop up for 1 or 2 days. The energy comes in over a period of a few weeks and then progresses over a period of a few weeks. And that depends from person to person, so it's entirely up to you, up to your story and your scenario. But I want to ask specific questions. I know that the energies have been really, really hectic for our relationships over this last while. Last month, there was a lot of conflict, there was a lot of war. It showed up in the planets and it shows up in our energy. We are all connected. Inner conflicts came to the surface and displayed itself in our relationships. And so a lot's been going on. And during this month in April, there's been a lot of coming back into harmony, a lot of coming back into balance, which is what Libra is about. But as I say, energy doesn't just suddenly cease. It comes in, creates the upstir, and then progresses towards harmony and balance. So yes, we can look forward to that harmony and balance now, but there are still, whatever has been highlighted for us, whatever's been brought to the surface, it is still up to you. And each individual is going to process this energy and going to turn it around, going to transmute it, transform it, or allow it to linger and become stagnant for as long as they feel necessary, until they're able to do the releasing of that energy and working through whatever's been highlighted, whatever's come up. Normally for us, unfortunately, when we have these experiences, even when you've had a really great relationship, conflict comes into play to bring up those things, those inner conflicts that stem from our beliefs and our experiences in relationship, our experience and our traumas and our fears and our hopes and all of that culminated. It creates this inner relationship with self and with our understanding of what a relationship is and who we are, all of that. And sometimes when you have a relationship come in and things are all good, it becomes a little bit dormant, but not too much. Whenever there is a slight little hurdle, which is natural for relationships, those fears can be triggered. Those beliefs can be triggered from both parties. These are the conflicts that have come up for you. These are the conflicts that we've all been dealing with. And once they've surfaced, that old momentum gets going once again, and to reverse it and to believe and to have faith and to see the relationship in its purity and not through the filter of that chaos, those fears, those doubts, the trauma is the challenge. So we're taking a look at that. Okay, so I'm looking at the history between you and your person for this collective, for my fire sign collective. I am looking at conflicts and issues that have arisen, and then I'm looking at the purpose thereof, because it's important to know and understand that. If you can lean into that awareness, it really helps you to overcome a lot of that old programming, and then the outcomes and what sort of guidance or advice Spirit would like to impart upon you. That's what we're doing. Okay, fire signs. I'm going to do 3 separate piles. I always ask that you guys settle into your intuition, ask your guides and keepers to guide you through the reading and to help you to choose your pile. Okay, the number that resonates in the first 2 seconds, go with that. Pile 1, 2, or 3. So let's begin with pile 1. We're looking at the history of your connection. Alright, what is the history here for my fire signs who have chosen pile 1? Alright, so there's been a lot of investigating, a lot of deep diving, a lot of looking into this connection, trying to establish what exactly, what the details are, what are the things that are affecting your coming together, what are the things that are holding energy in your person's reality in relation to you and with regards to you in relation to them. So what I mean by this is not two people that were just sort of breezing through this relationship. I'm not saying that it's not a good relationship. I'm saying these are two people that really, really have come into this connection with past fears, which I think is most of us. So me saying that, it almost sounds like it could be everyone, but what I want to point out is Spirit is showing me that you were very, very consciously trying to recognize where the weaknesses may be so that you can try to get out ahead of them. Both you and your person really, really want this connection to work. Taking a real close look at every detail of the connection, because there has been this underlying fear that something would come in and sabotage your connection. From the inside or from the outside, whatever it may be, this fear that even though there is so much here that is really, really good, that is so valuable, that is so precious, that zooming in to every detail about this relationship, there is a sense of anxiety that I'm picking up between you and your person, that something could come along and rob you both of this. And that fear has got nothing to do with the connection between the two of you. It's not that you've done anything to one another to create or trigger that fear. This is all personal insecurities based on past experience, based on how you see yourself, how your person sees self. But I'm just seeing a real zooming into every detail of the relationship. Perhaps not even being aware that you are doing that or your person's been doing that because of fear. If I can catch something before or early, then I can protect myself. I can protect this relationship. And when we feel the need to protect our relationship, we send out a message to the universe that our relationship needs protection because something is wrong, and then the universe brings us evidence that something is wrong. I don't feel like whatever's come up here is related to the relationship, but it's really had an impact on this connection. There's a lot here that there's a lot of information. There's a lot of details that is really affecting your current situation in your connection. And Spirit is letting me know there's so much you don't yet know. There's so much you don't know. So what this does is it leads us to the tendency to assume. But what Spirit is saying is just focus on the love. Because there's a reason why the details are hidden from you. Not because your person intentionally wants to hide things from you, because your person doesn't want, but your person wants to deal with these details and doesn't want these details to hold any power over your connection, or really to hold any power over your person's future and the future that the two of you may have together. also this person feels it's all just negative crap that needs to be dealt with and would eventually become a part of the of history. So why it haunts your person? So why bring it into your awareness that it becomes something that haunts you as well? There is a lot of love here, and it feels to me like in some cases your fears have come to are being realized, and you get to make a choice now, because I do see two people that want to be together here, that want to move forward together, that has been afraid that moving forward might mean moving away from one another at some point. So someone here, or both of you, has dealt with extreme loss. I do pick up insecurity where someone feels like the others might be too good for them, or they might not be good enough for you, or vice versa. Take it as it resonates. But what Spirit wants me to highlight is that there's so much about this you don't know, and if you had all the information, you would completely understand. But there's a reason why you don't have all the information, because Spirit says you and your person both have the tendency, and you've seen it, to sort of zoom into what could be going wrong, because you both wanted to be able to control that. Because you both want a positive outcome here, but you're zooming into the relationship from this insecurity and from this fear-based energy is what has attracted these issues and given them power. Not attracted, activated these issues and given them power. And now I feel like someone in this connection is really feeling overwhelmed by all of these details, which they hoped were closed off and put away. Some things have come up once again to haunt either you or your person, which is at the base of whatever the conflict is between you guys. There is a soulmate, possibly for some of you, twin flame connection here. And Spirit wants you to know that at the moment you guys are working through old cycles, closing out cycles from past lives together, where you have these fears and these insecurities, and take it as it resonates between you and your person, that hold no true basis on this relationship you have in this life, but it's really wanting to filter into that, and you being given an opportunity, both of you, to close that out, to heal that, and to overcome that tendency to have this strong masculine energy, both of you, male or female or same sex, whatever your relationship is, to want to control, manage, and take action. So I want all the details. I want to see every little thing so that I can go and iron it out before it causes issues. And the tendency to do that is what needs to be healed, and is what's contributed to what you're experiencing as chaos now, when you should be experiencing harmony together. It is leading you towards that, the harmony that you are searching for, and the harmony that you want, and the harmony that you're being guided towards. This is part of the process. So balancing things out by bringing in a more feminine energy is really going to help this a lot. There is not an absence of love here, but there is a tendency on behalf of both parties to zoom into what could be wrong or out of balance. And guess what happens when you do that? You are powerful beyond measure. You give focus to that. You zoom into details in your relationship. That doesn't come from a place of ease and comfort and security. That comes from an insecurity. You send out a message as a result to the universe. I am insecure in this relationship. And guess what you attract? Evidence to back your insecurity, which is where you are currently. Okay? So now we want to look at the conflicts and the issues. What are the conflicts and the issues for my power ones? What are the conflicts and the issues for my power ones? What are the conflicts and the issues that have surfaced here that my power ones have been dealing with? Okay, so there's been a sense of loss. Something's come to a close. And it's related to your person's position in society or yours. Okay? I'm feeling Spirit is pointing me towards your counterpart. Take it as it resonates, though. It could resonate differently for different collectives or different parties. But your person has had the comfort of of being respected, having positions in their friend circles, in their society, in their community that is respected, where people would trust them and look up to them for guidance and for wisdom and for directive as with regards to how to navigate business, life, career, whatever. This is someone, you are dealing with someone that cares what people think. Their entire personality, their image of self, their personal identity has been formed based on this position and how people look at them and look up to them. But as I say, there's been a death, and they're being stripped of this. With this comes a sense of security, a sense of stability, a sense of identity that is based on and formed on the structure of leadership, success, wisdom, and pride, honor, and influence. So this is your person that has taken great pride in being streetwise, in making the right moves, making the right decisions, and having great success as a result. But I feel like this has been stripped away. This construct is going through a death. Your person's entire sense of self and their identity, and how everybody's seen them, how the position that this person has held, they've been stripped of that. Now think about this. There is a lot of ego rooted in and attached to what I've explained. Whether it is a community leader, whether it is just a leader within their family, whether it is a leader in their field or in their business, whether it is someone that has received a lot of validation from those outside of themselves because of their position. Whatever it may be, how they develop their sense of self over time is very much rooted in the impact and the influence that they have over the organization, over the community, the family, whatever the dynamic is. There is a sense of being attached to these other people or parts of the system. And that is based on how they see you as an individual. So when suddenly that position, you no longer hold that position, you've spent years, or your person has spent years perfecting the connection between them, their position, their status, their image, and the masses or the community or those around them. That has become their identity. So think about it this way. You have a little boy that grows up, and he has these hobbies, he has these accolades that he receives at school, and he's a son, and he's a brother, and he's a best friend, and he's a sportsman, and then he goes to university, and then there are other parts of his personality and his identity that is developed and formed, and then he gets married, or he has a lover or a lifelong partner or a long-term partner, whatever it may be, and then he's given this position of running for president, or he's given this position of being the perhaps he's working towards becoming a pope or the pope. Just think about those kinds of positions that hold huge responsibility, where you sort of forsake your personal identity to fit into that mold and to become that, so that you can be revered by those who would then rely upon you for directive or whatever the case may be. These are just some of the examples that I can give you. Even someone that moves up the corporate ladder from work, being a regular employee, to becoming the CEO or the director, and they're given this opportunity and they've worked hard for it, but suddenly everything else about them falls away. You no longer see them as a father, you no longer see them as a husband, you no longer see them as a friend, you no longer see any of the other qualities and characteristics. You only see them as being the director. And there's so much more to a person, but what eventually matters over time is the individual morphs completely into that position. The ego attaches to that position so much that if you were to strip it away, that person would feel as though they no longer exist. They would feel as though they're going through a physical death. The ego they would feel as though their life force is endangered. They wouldn't know who they are, because the ego completely attaches to that construct, to the actions that make up who that person has been for the longest time, and to the way that people respond to that person because they're in a position of power and influence. And when they strip from that, suddenly people don't respond to them in the same way, and suddenly they don't have the same influence. Many people, when this happens to them, they would take their own lives, because they would feel as though they're practically dead. There's nothing left to live for. They don't know who they are. Everything that your person has known themselves to be, everything that your person's ego has attached to, has been stripped away. There is a death process taking place. And the positive is that from a death process there is rebirth, and the best parts of that individual rises like the phoenix. But that is what we know on an intuitive level, and when we've been through it, we understand that value. But I feel like this is the first time in your person's life where they are experiencing this. And even though you have the insight that everything's going to be okay and everything's going to be better, your person doesn't know who they are now. They're trying to find remnants of who they are when they look at their reflection, and they don't know. So they cannot say, I'm offering you this is who I am, because they don't know what they're offering you, and this puts your person in a very, this explains the insecurity. And your person, on top of that, your person, this person who loves you so much, sees you as an empress, as their divine counterpart. As I said before, I can see there's traces of a soulmate connections here, or twin flame connections. Your person is aware, sees you as the empress. You are everything. You are together. You are whole. You know who you are. And they don't. And your person sees themselves as dead, and you as the empress that is full of life, and everything you touch is filled with life, and all of life yields to you. They're having a hard time seeing how they match, and how they can benefit you, how they can fit with you right now. Okay, so that's the conflicts and the issues coming up, and this is a big deal, because your person's going through a dark night of the soul. Your person's going through an ego death here. Your person's this has possibly affected their finances. This has affected security, stability, identity, everything. This is someone that's had everything that they believed was their value stripped away from them. And you see that there is value there, that there is greater value beyond what they feel has been stripped from them. They don't yet see that. This is where the challenge is. Okay. So that's the conflict and the issue. Now let's take a look at the purpose. What is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose of all of this? What is the purpose of you finding yourself in this situation with your person, where you are watching and witnessing your loved one go through this painful awakening and this painful transition, and where it's affecting their ability to feel comfortable with you? What is the purpose of this? Because everything has purpose. Life is happening for you, not to you. So what is the purpose for my pile ones? This is a very specific scenario. So if this doesn't fit for you guys, then perhaps you want to choose another pile. But this is a very specific scenario. So the purpose of all of this is because you and this person deserve victory. Victory. Spiritual, emotional, mental, financial, relationship, life victory. You both deserve victory. And the spirit is showing me a band-aid being ripped off really fast. So this is hectic. You know, normally we go through these processes one step at a time over a lengthy period of time, but it's looking to me like your person's going through their awakening very intensely in a very short period of time, and this highlights their capacity, their strength, and how incredibly special they are, and how chosen they are. So even though your person might see themselves as weak right now and as not much, Spirit is confirming that what you see, the strength, the value, the capacity that you see in this person is absolutely true, because someone that can go through this sort of tower, death and transition is very, very strong and has great depth. How it might show up in the 3D right now could be many different ways, but this is what Spirit wants you to know. Victory is here. There's a reason why this is happening, so that you guys can have victory. Because if you're the Empress and you're in your power, and your person shows up as the Hierophant, then your person's sense of identity has been rooted in the communities and those around them, whereas yours is in your personal power, in your source, in your connection to source. You understand that the world comes to meet you where you are, and you are enough. And your person looked at life as though all these moving parts and all these people that look up to and depend on and rely on your person is what gives them their purpose and keeps them going. Very different outlooks. One is very rooted in the ego, and the other is rooted in consciousness and connection. So do you see where the gap is? And to bring you into alignment, this has to take place. This is the purpose of this, is long-term commitment, joyful union, marriage. I've got the 4 of Wands here. This is the marriage card. And to get you guys to overcome this depression, this tendency towards fear and anxiety and waiting and expecting for the worst to happen. To overcome those fears and to overcome what is rooted in you, the programming that brings those to the surface. To completely override the programming, that's what's taking place. So that anxiety, stress, depression, and that fear no longer holds any power over your person's life experience, over your life experience, and over your relationship. So what sort of guidance and advice would Spirit like to bring to you at this time, whilst you're facing this and dealing with this? What sort of guidance and advice? Those are too many. Only one card, please, Spirit. Guidance and advice. Okay. So, the past is haunting you. The past might be haunting your person. Definitely with regards to what's come through here. Spirit is saying those are faceless people. It is energy. You allocate that energy power. You need to decide, are you going to focus on the life that is still evident and on the outcome that you have, that you know you want, or are you going to keep giving power to these faceless people and situations and allow them to haunt you? Because ghosts belong in the graveyard, in the cemetery. They don't belong in the front line of your experience. Okay, they're in the past. So that's what Spirit's saying. You're giving it energy. You and your person collectively are giving it energy. It's a very annoying experience and situation to have to deal with, because you know that things are supposed to be joyful and you guys are supposed to just be easy right now. These things have come up for a reason, and this is what's been expressed to you, but you get to decide. Do you let the ghosts be, or do you allow them to haunt you and dictate how you move through your day, fearful and anxious, as if they hold real power over your current experience? They don't. They're actually in the past. And the reason why this has come up is so that you and your person can put them there. But you cannot tell or force your person to do anything. You only have control over what you do with your energy. That is where your power lies, and that's where your work begins. It's a very, very powerful time for you. And Spirit wants you to know that it doesn't matter how things look. Good fortune, luck is on your side. Make the most of it. Power 1, that is your reading. That is the information I can give you with regards to your situation. If this didn't resonate with you, perhaps choose another pile. But if it did resonate, please, I hope that it has really empowered you to understand what is going on and given you a different perspective, if nothing else. that really helps you to feel more liberated and empowered in your situation, because you are the creator of your reality. You are powerful beyond measure, and you never have to accept circumstances, and you never have to allow yourself to be buried by circumstances. Okay? They are just a stepping stone. If it resonates with you, please comment, let me know how. Please go ahead and like this video. It really helps my channel, and it helps other people who need to receive these messages to have access to them. If you'd like to take a personal look into your situation, you're welcome to do so. Email is in the description box below. You can contact me there for a personal. Whatever you choose to do, my fire signs, love and light. And if you're sticking around because you've chosen another pile in relation to another person, cool. But if this is where you say goodbye, it's been good. I'll see you next time. Bye now. Okay, my fire signs. For those of you who have chosen pile 2, this is your reading. Okay, so I'm going to look into what's happening between you and your person. I'm going to look at the history here. I want to see what the conflicts have been. What the conflicts and issues are that have arisen over this period of time. Then I want to look into the purpose of those, why they have happened, what is the purpose, how does it serve you, how does it serve your relationship or your connection, and the outcomes and guidance. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so this is for my pile 2s in relation to their person. What is the history here for my pile 2 and their person? Okay, so for my pile 2s, oh, very, very loving relationship, very deep relationship over here. Very, very deep relationship. This person came into your life, perfect gentleman, romanced you, showed you their love, their intention, sincere, honest, true. Deep, deep emotions here. Both of you wanting a stable emotional connection and working towards that. Offering one another your love. Offering one another your hearts and your future. A life together. You are both the key to one another's wish fulfillment. To one another's emotional fulfillment. This is a very, very strong connection, and this feels to me like a soulmate connection. Okay, so let's take a look at what's happened here. As I said in the intro, the energy is moving us into this full moon, into this new moon. Has been very chaotic. It's been that of conflict and war, and it's really shown up in our relationships. So a lot of things that have still been holding you back in love and relationship have really been surfaced, both between you and your person. We're moving into calmer times now. We're moving into better days, of course, but it helps to know what is really going on here. Why are these conflicts here? What are they about? These conflicts and these issues. What is their purpose? And what sort of advice? What would help us to really allow the transformation, the evolution, and the update in our personal programming in the best way possible. So the conflicts and the issues between you and your person. What's come up here? Okay, so even though this beautiful energy has come into your life and your person's shown up as the perfect gentleman, respectful, romantic, loving, and really your person could be a water sign or have water in their sign, and even if not, they've really, really shown you how much they love you, or tried their best to show you how much they love you. A lot of water in your connection, a lot of love, a lot of emotions, a lot of emotional vulnerability and strength. And the issues that have arisen is as a result of the fact that your person has a long history of being the wounded warrior, fighting for things, staying in situations longer than he should or she should, really feeling wounded in the past by love and relationships and just by life, and now you come along and them really wanting you because you're the best thing that's happened to them in a really, really long time, or vice versa. Take it as it resonates, pile two. But the residual energy, the remnants of this past, and of how this person has begun to see themselves as a result of this, still being wounded, still needing to heal. There are karmic cycles that need to be closed here, and that's what's come up. Things are going to definitely turn in the upright, but there are old things that have surfaced that have really put a thorn in your relationship side, a nail in the wheel, whatever you want to call it. Just a hurdle. It's got nothing directly to do, it's got nothing to do with the two of you directly, or with your relationship from a direct perspective, but it's past stuff. However, it needs to be resolved. Your person wants to move forward to a new future with you, but they're still held back by their past, and they need to resolve this. That's what the issues and the conflict is about. Now, the purpose of all of this, what is the purpose? How does it serve your relationship? How does it serve your connection? How does it serve your person, and how does it serve you? You know, someone can be brand new, someone can be in a whole new scenario, new energy, new perspectives, but if they still identify with an old version of themselves, that is what is dominant, and often releasing that old version of self takes process, and I'm feeling that this is what that is about. The purpose of this is that your person is really trying to establish where they need to be investing their energy right now, where they should be making their long-term investments. I feel that this has got to do with money, and it might also, in some case, for some of you it's got to do with money, and for others of you it's got to do with perhaps another situation. However, I'm not feeling that strongly in this reading. The energy doesn't show me that your person is in love, could be in love with another person as well, or anything like that. So the third party here could be business and finances. That could be what is sort of come between you guys. That is where your person's focus is, and I am picking up that it gives them a lot of stress. And look, it makes sense. How do you build a life when you don't have the foundation? And some people, especially if your person is a masculine, if they're not where they need to, if they're not where they believe they should be to be able to provide, then to them, they're not ready to be in a relationship. The purpose of this is also to realize that emotional fulfillment is not where they always thought it would be. And to establish and to figure out what emotional fulfillment is and where that stems from. That is what your person is having to learn, and you as well, to a different degree. Where does my emotional fulfillment stem from? And what is it rooted in? There's definitely a walking away from something here, and I feel like this is a moving away from and a walking away from the past, and whatever this karmic cycle is that needs to be closed. Towards this divine connection, towards abundance and family and a sense and a fruitfulness that exists with you. There is no doubt that there is abundance here with you. But your person's history is definitely coming to haunt them, and they have to face, your person has to face this head on in order to have this new beginning with you, in order to share in this divine empire with you. This has to be done. Your person is getting their priorities straight with regards to what is emotional stability, what is stability, what is emotional fulfillment, and what is investment. Do I make the investment with my pennies? Do I make the investment with my actions? Do I make the investment with my energy? Do I make my investment with my passion, my heart? What is it? There's a lot of gaining of new perspective taking place here with your person, and this is because the way they used to see life in the past needs to change now. They are seriously reevaluating that. So what sort of advice would Spirit give you as you find yourself in this situation? You do feel that whatever these past issues are, as though they've just invaded your relationship. They should have no power here. It should have no power or control. And you feel as though it's just invaded your relationship and your happiness. You feel as though your boundaries have been violated, and this is making you wonder, are you compromising? Have you done anything that has given the indication that your boundaries are not strong? Does this mean you've got to take certain action or a certain stance to reinforce your boundaries? And there is a tendency to be in your masculine energy about this, because this affects how secure you feel with your person and whether you can trust them or not. And for some of you, you're looking at your person and you're seeing them as weak, because you believed that everything that they said to you and the investment that your person's made to you up to this point has been sincere. But now suddenly it looks like they're going back on all of that. And you feel like you need to take action to either protect yourself or to make sure you are okay. The energy that's come towards you is that of dominance. You don't have to allow it to have the same effect on you. Your boundaries are clear and they are valid, and the universe knows what you want. Allow yourself to be in your feminine energy. Allow yourself to remember what this is. To remember that what has come to the surface and what is the conflict and the issues really have nothing to do with you. Yes, you feel as though it's affecting you, and you can say, but if it's affecting me, so it's affecting me, and so I need to deal with this. No, this is your person's to deal with. This is not yours to deal with. This is part of their process. This is part of their growth. This is part of their expansion. And you would do well to honor that, because as we know, these expansion, evolution, growth, it's not pretty. And your person's having to be very vulnerable at this moment. And if you come at them from a masculine energy where you want to fix things or you want to enforce certain things, you only further validate that they are weak, and that you might see them in that way, and that who they've been to you all this time no longer matters because of this past thing that's now haunting them. You don't have to allow it to change who you are or to affect the value that you've placed on this connection. What you can do is you can love yourself more, and you can create a space between yourself and whatever these things are to honor yourself and to trust and respect that this is your persons to deal with and that they will do so. And in the meantime, go back to the basics. How do you fill your own cup? How do you fill yourself? Have you started to focus on your person so much that they've become your point of happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment? Because someone else should never be that for us. We should be that for ourselves first and foremost, and then go as we're overflowing, as our cups overflow, we go and we play and we enjoy life with our person because they've done the same. But we do have a tendency to become so focused on our person that we forget to do this for ourselves, and then when they cannot be that for you, you're experiencing what you are right now. So it's also to remind you, don't neglect your relationship with yourself, and don't ever make your partner your point of attraction. Allow source to be your point of stability, your inner being. Allow that to be your source of happiness and fulfillment, and then go and be with your person. Okay? So that is your advice. That is the guidance that Spirit is wanting to share with you, Pile 2. I feel like if this resonates with you, there is so much more to this. I feel like you'll still have questions. You are welcome to contact me for a personal reading. It is the kind of thing that you would do well to take a personal look into it and to receive personalized guidance, and to have certain things explained to you. So if that resonates, my email is in the description box below. Please comment, let me know how this might have made sense to you, how it resonates with you, and how it has served you on your journey. This period and everything that comes up is just to serve us and to serve our evolution and our growth as a couple and as two individuals. Whatever you choose to do, wherever this may go for you, Pile 2, do what is best for you. Love and light. And I'll see you next time. Okay, Pile 3. This is for my Pile 3s. We're looking at what is happening with your person. We're going to look into the history. What are the conflicts and the issues that have arisen during this time? What are the conflicts and issues that are guiding you towards harmony? We're also looking at what is the purpose, in essence guiding you towards harmony, but we want to look into that a bit more. And then what sort of outcomes you can expect, and guidance and advice. Right, so what is the history here? So it seems like initially in your meeting it was quite convoluted. There was a lot of twists and turns, and it shows me that initially this relationship was more of a casual one, and then it developed into something stronger. Both you and your person have strong confidence on both your side. People who are really supportive, wise, and have your best interest in heart. And I think that that has really led you to come to realize the value of this connection. So that's how you find yourself where you are currently. What is the conflict and the issues that have come up here? Because obviously this relationship evolved into more than you both initially expected. That's what it's looking like to me. Okay, so conflicts and issues. Okay, so this is both of you came to realize that this is an opportunity for something stable. And both of you wanted that, realize that you want that with one another. And victory's absolutely been on your side. But for some reason, it feels as though the relationship is not moving now. And like there's a pause, or it's gotten to a point where one of you don't really know what the next natural progression of the relationship is. One of you feel like it should progress to a particular, to looking at, I'm losing words. One of you in the connection believes that the natural thing makes, should make sense to both of you. Like, you know exactly what the next step should be. And the other person feels like things are fine the way they are for now. And that's the conflict. Okay. So okay, there's a lot going on here, obviously. The purpose. Right, let's see. The purpose of all of this taking place. Why you seem to be on different pages all of a sudden. Is because you're wondering, someone here is wondering if perhaps the other person was just sort of going along with the connection and whatever they could get the most out of it, but they're stuck now because they actually really just enjoyed things being light and easy, and they're realizing that maybe allowing the relationship to progress into more is not really what they wanted. And I think that's what you might be afraid of, that there might be hidden things, or perhaps your person is talking to someone else or seeing someone else, and this is what's sort of putting a pause or a reservation on them wanting to move forward. Like you feel as though something might be hidden from you, that there might be a karmic situation involved here, or an old karmic cycle that's come up, and you're afraid that your heart's going to get broken, or vice versa. That possibly a new passionate beginning with someone else has come onto the forefront, and this is what is causing this pause. You see, when you met one another, you met under certain circumstances, and you saw your person as in a particular image and light, and you're wondering if those ways is what's dominant. That's who they really are. And the idea of being more is not really what sits right with them. That you might be dealing with a player that is hiding things from you, that could still be dealing with old karmic cycles, and you're sad, you're heartbroken, you're feeling insecure, you're feeling as though you might have been led on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I've just realized that I didn't do outcomes for any of these piles, I'm going to do them at the end, guys, okay? Because I really want to look at what the outcomes are for each of the piles. I'm just going to do them at the end, so I'm going to put that in the timestamps, because otherwise you guys are not going to know. Well, the other piles, pile 1 and 2, is not going to know that the outcomes are at the end. For now, I just want to look at guidance from Spirit. Okay. Spirit is saying you're haunted by this. This is really haunting you. This is really, really haunting you. You don't know who it is. You don't know what it is. You don't even know if it's true. You just feel it's your instinct. It's haunting you. And Spirit is saying this has got more to do with your past experience of being cheated on. Past experiences where you feel like you've always been cheated on in relationships, especially when you've fallen for the person. And the reason why this is happening is to give you an opportunity to heal this and to overcome this. I don't feel that this is something that you would be able to, that you should even try and do on your own, because I can pick up in the energy that you are so in your head, you're so overwhelmed by these fears, and you're not going to be able to see things clearly on your own. So I would advise that you get relationship coaching or spiritual coaching, just to help you to heal this and to get into your truth and to start to know and understand what's the difference between my fears and my intuition. Because sometimes it can feel like the same thing when you are unhealed. Definite heart chakra stuff that needs to be healed here. These are old wounds that are just being re-triggered. Okay, so stick with me to the end. Let's see what the outcomes will be. I'm going to look at outcomes for all the piles now. Okay, guys, so I forgot to look at outcomes for each of the piles. We went into all the details about what the conflict's been, why it's here, what the purpose is, but I'm really curious to see what outcomes we can expect. So I'm going to do outcomes for pile 1, 2, and 3 now. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. So we're looking at outcomes for my pile 1s, 2s, and 3s. What are the outcomes that they can expect? After all of this, after the process of chaos and conflict and fears being brought to the surface, what are the outcomes? Okay, thank you, Spirit. Outcomes for pile 1, outcomes for pile 2, and outcomes for pile 3. Okay. Oh crap. Okay, give me another one. I want more. For my pile 1s, what's the outcome? Give me another one. For pile 1. For my pile 1s, what's the outcome? Okay, pile 1s, I'm going to be straight up with you. It looks like there's going to be a breakup or a separation before things come right. Go back and rewatch your reading as often as you need to, especially the advice to help you to put things into perspective and to help you to know where to put your focus. Because there's definitely, it looks to me like there's definitely going to be some sort of separation here before things come together. But the good news is your person is already, if you're already in separation, if it's already started taking place and this gap is already happening between you guys, your person's already looking back at what this has been and do they really want to let this go? Feels like there's a big gap. How do I get there? How do I get closer? I don't know. Sorry guys, if you can hear that noise, I don't know where it's coming from. Probably the neighbors. But if the separation's already taken place or started to take place, know that this is, that your person's already looking at this as a loss, as potentially being a huge loss. in a state of grief, feeling helpless perhaps, feeling as though another thing's been stripped from them, but it is only the way that it looks, and it only contributes towards the deeper asking and the deeper knowing of what your person really values. I do see that things come around here because I have the World card. So I've got the Five of Cups, which is not so nice, which means that this person your person ends up spilling these cups, not really wanting to. And then there's this river. I just see this river of tears. Okay, so it's not going to be easy for you guys, but I want you to know that I've got the World card here, which means that gap gets closed. That gap between you gets closed completely. And that gap, the space, whatever it is, the distance, whatever creates this gap. I see the Wheel of Fortune, two things coming around in the upright, and you having the World. You having the world, and your world exactly the way that it's supposed to be, the way that you know. So please focus on what is important here. Focus on what you know is at the heart of this connection. Not the conditions, not the circumstances. You have the angel overlooking the connection for guidance. You have communication. Here we have the bird, the eagle, communication, and also bringing wisdom and guidance in the 3D. We have the lion, which is strength. So things work out, but they get a little bit rough first. That's the outcome for pile 1. Pile 2, the outcome for my pile 2s is what? Right. So for my pile 2s, there is a lot of reminiscing. There's a lot of daydreaming about what this should be and could be, about what your person really, really wants, what you want. And then there are options, and there's a bit of confusion. What is the right way to move forward? What is it that I want? Despite the fact that there are options and there is confusion, it means that you are at a place where you guys can go either way with this. Making the right decision is not so clear initially. But the outcome is that your person does choose to work on this, to do the work that is necessary, that is required, really just focusing on working on this with you in a stable, solid way. So for pile 2, it also looks like, to you, from your perspective, it's going to look like, even though this is what I want and this is what my persons let me know they want, it seems like now there's so many options, and we both need to decide whether the option that fits me best includes my person and vice versa. For pile 3, the outcome here is that there is a choice. There is a choice to be made, and it looks to me for my pile 3s like your fear has been manifested here, sadly. The outcome that you've been fearing, where you seem to be a choice or an option, it's unfortunately you've manifested it. Let's see. Wish fulfillment. You are your person's wish fulfillment, though. Okay, so for my pile 3s, this can be confusing. So you might want to get some coaching regarding this, because you can say to me, well, yes, my intuition has let me know that perhaps my person's talking to someone else or considering another situation, and I'm not the priority. And I should have seen this right from the beginning, because we got together under those circumstances. And perhaps this is just the way that it always was going to go. So it happened to me. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I asked for. And you might be angry, feeling as though your person led you on. But the reality is that the reason why you and your person went into this relationship the way that you did is because, and you can confirm this, it'll resonate if it's true for you, it's because you guys were too afraid of something serious, because you were afraid of having this happen, because it's happened so many times before. Because this is what you've seen around you so many times that it's easier to believe that this would happen. And so when you stopped seeing movement forward, because that's what ends up happening, you try and ease your fears and your doubts by seeing, okay, is this person taking the next step forward? What is it moving forward? Is it moving forward? And we get so addicted to seeing that progress that we don't realize that now things as it is progress. It's good enough. And that started to trigger the fears, and that started to bring out particular energies within you, which I can only go through with you in coaching to help you to understand. I can't go into too much detail now. And therefore triggers an energy response in your person that brings up old coping mechanisms. What is clear to me here is that you are your person's wish fulfillment despite this behavior. And you can get caught up in the behavior and in the details and in the specifics and relive what you have lived in the past because you're regurgitating your experiences, or you can see this as it is. In your guidance, Spirit said this is for healing. So you can take this experience and you can allow this to be you moving through the fear so that it no longer holds power over you in the future with this person or with someone else, whatever you choose to do. But that is the opportunity here. It looks to me as though this is a twin flame connection, and you guys are going to overcome this. Whatever you choose to do what's best for you. If you want to contact me, email is in the description box below. Whatever, guys, this is your reading, and I hope that it's brought you clarity and guidance. It does look in all three areas that it gets a bit rough before it gets better, but remember, you've got control. You create your reality and you decide the outcomes. There is purpose here, and it serves you either way. So that is your Libra full moon phase reading with regards to your relationship. Love and light to my fire signs. I love you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here with me and sharing in your energy. I will see you all next time. Bye now.